The Second World War was a crucible. It forged heroes. On the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, a new kind of warfare was being waged. Aircraft carriers became floating fortresses. These mighty vessels depended on a special breed of men naval aviators. Their skill and nerve turned the tide of battle. Landing a damaged aircraft on a moving deck was a sliver of hope in a hostile sea. Imagine the scene, the roar of the engine, the carrier deck impossibly small below. The pilot, exhausted and possibly wounded, must land. Failure means a cold grave in the deep. Success means another chance to fight. This was the daily reality for thousands of young men. They were united by a common purpose and a courage that burned bright. Their story is one of extraordinary skill and human resilience. The steel deck awaited, a promise and a peril and endanger the ship. Yet, they found the inner strength to execute this perilous dance. Becoming a naval aviator in WW2 was an arduous journey. The training was intense, demanding, and often dangerous. Cadets began with basic flight in docile trainers, quickly progressing to more powerful aircraft. They mastered flying, navigation, gunnery, bombing, and formation flying. Carrier qualification was the ultimate test. Trainee pilots made their first attempts at landing on a carrier deck. They learned to trust the LSO implicitly and internalize the precise sequence of actions for a successful trap. Repetition was key. Trainees practiced field carrier landing practice, FCLP, on airfields marked like a carrier deck. They made hundreds of simulated approaches, learning to control airspeed and maintain the correct glide slope. The first actual carrier landing was a rite of passage. The training environment was unforgiving, with accidents not uncommon. Instructors, often veteran pilots, were tough but fair. They knew only rigorous preparation could give these young aviators a fighting chance. The training was a crucible designed to forge wings of steel and hearts of oak. The pressure to succeed was enormous. The culmination of their training was carrier qualification. This was the ultimate test. Here, theory met brutal reality. Returning to the carrier after a combat mission was often the most dangerous part of the flight. Pilots, drained from combat, faced the daunting task of landing under the worst conditions. Their aircraft might be heavily damaged, controls failing, fuel gauges near empty. The sky around the carrier might not be friendly. Enemy aircraft could still be lurking. Darkness and weather added extreme difficulty. Night landings were particularly terrifying, with only dim lights and the LSO's glowing wands to guide them. Storms could whip the sea into a frenzy, making the carrier a wildly unstable platform. The deck could be a scene of controlled chaos, with wreckage, refueling, and rearming. A pilot had to remain focused, executing his approach with precision. The psychological toll was immense. Pilots witnessed the horrific consequences of errors. They knew each approach could be their last. Yet they flew, fought, and returned to face the challenge of the heaving deck. This relentless cycle forged an incredible bond between pilots and deck crews. It was a shared experience of danger and survival, a testament to their collective courage and determination. The annals of naval aviation during WW2 are replete with stories of incredible bravery and skill. Pilots brought back aircraft so badly damaged they seemed incapable of flight. Lieutenant William Wild Bill Martin landed his shot-up Hellcat on one wheel. Ensign George H.W. Bush completed his mission with a burning plane before bailing out. Other pilots performed similar feats daily, nursing shattered aircraft back to their carriers. Some landed with no tailhooks, relying on the crash barrier or sheer luck. These miraculous landings were often the result of a pilot's refusal to give up. Their courage was quiet, often unrecorded, but it was the bedrock of naval air power. Each successful recovery was a victory, saving a skilled aviator and a valuable aircraft. These stories are a testament to the extraordinary skill and resilience of these pilots. The LSO was the pilot's crucial link to survival. Positioned on a small platform at the stern, the LSO was an experienced aviator. He held the pilot's life in his hands, using brightly colored paddles to communicate. The LSO's job was incredibly demanding and fraught with danger. He stood exposed, judging each approach with a keen eye. He assessed altitude, airspeed, lineup, and rate of descent. Using his paddles, the LSO signaled vital instructions to the pilot. The pilot had to trust the LSO implicitly, obeying his signals without question. The LSO was more than a traffic controller. He was a mentor and guardian angel. The bond between pilots and their LSOs was one of deep mutual respect. The LSO shared the danger with every incoming plane. His skill was the thin line between a safe recovery and a fiery catastrophe. The brutal experiences of WW2 carrier operations reshaped aircraft carrier design, technology, and procedures. Every crash, near miss, and successful landing provided hard-won lessons. These lessons profoundly reshaped naval aviation. Landing aids evolved, leading to systems that provided precise glide slope indications. The mirror landing aid was a precursor to modern optical landing systems. Aircraft design evolved, with more robust undercarriages and improved low-speed handling. Tailhooks became stronger and more reliable. Cockpit layouts improved visibility and control access. Carrier deck layouts and arresting gear underwent significant improvements. The angled flight deck revolutionized carrier operations. Stronger arresting wires and more powerful hydraulic systems were developed. Training of pilots and deck crews became more standardized and refined. The sacrifices of WW2 pilots contributed to making carrier aviation safer and more efficient. Their legacy is visible on the flight decks of carriers around the world. The story of WW2 carrier pilots is profoundly human. It is a narrative of extraordinary courage, deep comradeship, and the cost of war. These young men faced death daily, not just from enemy action, but from the perils of aviation. Their courage was the ability to function while fear was a constant companion. Comradeship was the lifeblood of these carrier air groups. Pilots, LSOs, and flight deck crews formed tight bonds. They relied on each other for survival. The cost was high. Many brave aviators never returned. The experiences left indelible marks, both physical and psychological. They maintained a sense of duty and remarkable resilience. Their individual stories paint a picture of a generation that rose to an extraordinary challenge. They were ordinary individuals who found extraordinary strength. Their humanity is central to understanding their monumental contribution. Their legacy continues to inspire and inform naval aviation. The courage and sacrifices of WW2 carrier pilots form the bedrock of modern naval aviation. Their challenges inform technological advancements and operational doctrines. The innovations born from their experiences are now standard practice. The angled flight deck, optical landing systems, and improved arresting gear have roots in WW2. Modern training programs evolved from methods developed during the war. The role of the LSO remains critical, a testament to the enduring value of human oversight. The spirit of those wartime aviators endures in modern naval aviators. The fundamental act of controlled courage remains. Their contributions transformed naval warfare and continue to inspire. The echoes of their bravery inform naval aviation to this day.